Hello. That was very fast.
That transition is so thrilling every time.
Bang,
Hi.
on your TV screen.
Yes, we're here once again. Hi, everybody. We're back. Whew. It's been a day. Non-stop fun and creativity over here at MARZ.
Yeah.
Yes. So, we're going to continue on with a series of things we've been doing, which we never named, but is essentially we're going to try and make something in a piece of software that we're less familiar with. We recently acquired a MARZ iPad, and a lot of my students come in with iOS devices, iPhones or iPads, at home, or they bring them with them or whatever, and there's that's a tool that a lot of people have. And so I was thinking it'd be pretty cool to talk about the music making tool that if you have one of those things, you have this tool. It's called GarageBand. A lot of us millennials got our start tracking and making music on a cheap Mac using GarageBand.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been doing stuff longer than that. But it's a very, very popular entry point to music making because it's very friendly. This is both cool and annoying.
Cool and friendly?
Cool and friendly if you're new to it, kind of limiting and frustrating if you are a more advanced user. Right? This is the trade-off. To make a user interface easy to use, you declutter it, right? I think about the way GarageBand looks versus the way like Blender looks when you open it, which I find horrifying to look at. Blender, it scares the crap out of me. So, well, it's just there's so much going on,
Hurt its feelings.
No, it's okay. It's just intimidating. I'm just intimidated.
Okay, there you go.
GarageBand less so, and I really like it has that sweet combination of some relatively simple features, like a decent sound set, and enough flexibility to let you get creative without making it so you can easily let things go completely off the rails. And so I just thought that we could try just cracking open a fresh GarageBand session and trying some different techniques and showing off some of the features. There are a bunch of different ways to work in it, and I have not used this app for a long time, and it's changed dramatically since then. In particular, they've added an entire Ableton-inspired clip launching view, which, did you use that at all when you were playing around earlier, Jay?
I'm gonna have to see it. I don't think I know. My brain doesn't know exactly what that is right now.
The live looping view with those squares versus the timeline.
Maybe.
But anyways, Apple has been Abletonifying both GarageBand and Logic for some time now, and now GarageBand fully has dual views, a Ableton-style session view kind of looking thing and an arrangement view, just like Ableton. So it's even though this is not a direct pipeline from this tool to that tool, the paradigm remains the same. And so it's familiar to me and would make Ableton familiar, I think, to most people who are trying this out and then moving there. What do you think, Jay? Should we just start a session and see how it goes?
Yeah, let's see if everything works.
Right. We have another layer of technology speaking to each other. So I guess we should hash out how this is working. I've done this before, I think, with a different app, but I have my iPad physically this time connected to my Mac, which you can see right to the top right there, and I am casting my screen from the iPad to the Mac to take advantage of this app I have on my Mac that lets me share my screen over the network to Jay in there, Jay in there.
Over here.
We should switch sides so I can point, when I point at you.
Well, eventually you're going to be able to point straight once I get the curtain on the back.
That'll be great.
Then you can see me wave my arms to stop when something's happening.
Yeah, totally, when I'm screwing up like I was you. And then my audio is running directly to the Focusrite, so I have a different pipeline for my video and audio. Hopefully they're not too desynced. I think it'll be okay.
It's going to be something. I really we're trying out, we're really pushing some of the NDI stuff, I think. It's a lot of this is really new technology, so a lot of this casting. So let me switch over to this. So you can see us, we got our own iPads right below us. Cory's is working. You can hear mine, but I don't think you can see mine right now. So let me double check that. I need to stop it from going to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a quick way to do that? Or no?
I don't know how quick it is. Settings.
You gotta go like, and there's not just like a button to keep it from.
Settings, display and brightness, auto lock. Oh no, no, I don't know if that's the auto sleep setting actually. I forget. I don't really. I probably set it some time ago and forgot all about it.
Yeah, just go like auto lock probably. Let's just turn that off. Okay.
That might just be to do with the magnetic cover though.
It does have a timer on it, so I just set it to never. It was set to 2 minutes, and it was definitely going to sleep.
That's what it was, yeah, for sure.
So I got to turn back on my NDI capture. You might see it the wrong direction for a second, and because it turned off and went back to sleep. There it is.
It's lost me already.
Did it?
There it goes. I just had to complain out loud.
It doesn't like when I hit the home button and go back into. I think the best way to do this eventually, you know,
HDMI out.
Yeah, I mean that's obviously going to be the most like solid, but this should work better. NDI, I don't know what your deal is, right, with this. It's like it's such an. It would be if it worked all the time, it'd be great, but it just. I found that the Mac OS apps don't work quite as well as the Windows ones.
Yeah.
So
well, a lot of developers lean one way or the other, you know.
Yeah. So which is kind of a bummer because like NDI, you just want it to work with everything.
Right.
I mean, the apps do cost money though, which is kind of a pain. So you're not just like, oh, download this app real quick and we can cast to our system or whatever. So. The phone or the computer stuff doesn't cost anything, but the apps do. Like the camera app that I use.
Mm-hmm.
See now, stop broadcasting screen. Let's see. Try this one more time. It seemed to work if I didn't hit the home button and just like pulled the menu up like this. Yeah, it doesn't like hitting the home button. So GarageBand.
That's really interesting.
Think it's still working? No.
Well,
I'll keep going. Oh, you go ahead and do your walkthrough.
Yeah.
And I'll see
so
if I can get this going.
this is the view that you're presented with when you start a new project. You get two options and things to start with: live loops or tracks. Live loops are preset audio loops. I don't know what makes them live yet. Well, maybe we'll find out today. But the notion, like if you go into one of these like preset things, like I'll choose, let's see, what do I want? Let's open up let's try Chromium Fray. So if I choose this, what do I think this is like a preset demo song. It's taking a long time to load. Ah, yes. So this is live looping view. There are things I really like about this. So this is just like Ableton. You have your tracks, except in this instance, instead of Ableton where it like orients things vertically and then horizontally for the other view, and you have to like do a mental flip. Here it keeps everything horizontal. So I have my tracks vertically and my different song sections left to right. This makes a ton of sense. So I can fire off individual loops by clicking on them, or launch entire sections with these buttons at the bottom. I really love the visual representation of the song or the sound. Right, you can see you can see inside that clip this thing build up as it like rotates.
Oh, that's cool.
Did you?
I didn't mess with this. No.
Oh, did you ever see that movie Arrival?
The one with the aliens?
Yeah.
Where they come down in like the big pill.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So this reminds me a bit of
the language. Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Go see that movie if you haven't seen it. That's a great.
That's
movie.
good. Yeah.
But yeah, so I like this. The loops are visualized rotationally with their content, which I think is kind of cool. And MIDI clips are as well.
Sorry, that's me. or part of it was.
Lush. That's all you.
It should stop now. Oh, I had it on sustain. My bad.
Nice. Yeah, so that's like holding the sustain pedal down on a piano. So Jay got in here and like made something earlier. While your thing's working, do you want to show off what you did? Like.
Sounds a lot more groovy on the headphones.
Oh yeah.
I want to make that kind of trail off a little more.
Yeah. I think, yeah, cool.
Whoops, not record, stop. Don't mess up my...
So I'm curious to know, how did you get those patterns? Like, how did you create that pattern for that keyboard? Because it's like pretty interesting.
The solar one?
Yeah.
Yeah, the solar.
Oh, well, here, we'll get there. Let's get work our way there.
Okay.
So I want to... I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm like, look at all these things you can do in here. I love this thing. It's so cool. So this is very Ableton-esque, right? If I can press another clip in this lane, like I can start or stop these things, and they'll do it in a synchronized way to the bar line.
Something's breathing somewhere. That's definitely yours.
It's definitely for mine. That's really... Where's that coming from? That's super interesting. There must be, I don't know what's happening here. Huh. There must be, oh. Well, my screen froze, so you can't see that there are 2 more tracks down below. That was definitely what that was.
Your line freeze.
Yeah.
No, it's working.
Oh, you get one at a time. That's good, at least. Oh, did it come back? I thought I saw it. Oh, no.
Maybe.
Yeah, there it is.
Yep.
Cool. So, yeah, so you can, in this way, you can, build up a song by creating different loops and then playing in an arrangement. So you can then, just like Ableton, trigger these things yourself, launch sections of songs or change individual loops one at a time and record your performance into the arrangement view, which should be able to access in some ways. Do I have to hit this button? How do I do this to get over there? Oh yeah, press this thing. Oh no. Oh yeah, there is no arrangement, so I don't have any arrangement to go to. But if I make a quick recording, I now have an arrangement. And oh, it has to contain something though. That's interesting. So now I can click this new button that just appeared, which you can't see because my screen is frozen.
Yeah.
And oh, it's so weird. It never does this when it's just capturing my computer, which is what it's doing.
Yeah, it does a lot better. I don't know. Yeah, I need to do some research and find out a better way how we can capture these. I may just end up getting some dongles and plugging it into the... Well, even if we plug it into the ATEM, what I need to do is I need to get some of those NDI encoder boxes that are that way the computer and the iPad, you offload that process, the compression process and everything to a different device. Those are the things that I need. They're like little packs, little converter boxes. Totally. Essentially.
Yeah. Anyways, so now that I have this something in the arrangement, I can flip back and forth with this. It's the rightmost of this group of 3 buttons right below the date here. And you see the button changes depending on which view we're in. So this allows me to record different elements, but then I think it's really interesting that it doesn't show the other tracks if I haven't put them in the arrangement. So it's very much like there's a live portion that's functioning elsewhere, and then an arrangement which is entirely separate. Very different than the way Ableton works, but similar enough that it's familiar. You can add your own loops to this. If you get into this edit view, you can pull up the loops menu and select one.
So you can import your own stuff, huh?
Well, yeah, so there's a very large library too. There's just a reggaeton pop solo snare. Let's add that. So it's just drag and drop over here, and it populates in there. Fire it off. Oh, I gotta get out of edit mode. Super straightforward. So I'm personally not crazy about working with a pre-made song. I don't want to sit down and try and create something out of this. I'd rather just start something from scratch. Even though as if I'm looking to explore and see how the thing works, it's really cool to see how one might put a whole song together, right, out of all these elements. But you can also like go up if you're getting the new project menu here. You can just select new live loops, and you're just presented with an empty container for live loops, whatever. So here, loops can either be loops, which are audio tracks, or instruments, which are MIDI tracks. And so if you choose loops, you can select from things, but you can also record into it. I haven't actually tried this yet, but if we go edit, click, oh,
like record audio.
I guess I have to choose audio input as a source.
I think so.
Yeah, the audio recorder. We'll choose voice, and then you can like do your weird stuff. I don't know if you know about this, but right, so you like on these channels, you get like a bit of these like basic preset controls, including some like pitch correction, which is kind of cool. Oh. And there's also the fun sounds, which I don't know if you mess with this stuff too much.
Any of these, no.
Can you mute my mic real quick?
Yes. There you go.
So you're now hearing me through the iPad's microphone. So I can do some live processing on here, which is pretty interesting. So one is there's some pitch control. So I have some pretty basic but decent sounding auto tune. So it's kind of cool.
Nice.
You can crank up the compression, throw a bunch of reverb on it, and distort it. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Cool. So you have those options, or you can get into the fun stuff.
So there's some absurd pitch shifting. You can hear the delay. It's pretty bad. But I can change my sound.
Oh man.
The default here.
I can barely understand you anymore.
There's some like weird effects in here though.
Dreamy.
Yeah, they're not particularly useful. I wouldn't say.
Oh, that one's cool. It's more of a robot than I thought it would be.
When I was,
Okay. All right.
Something I noticed when I was playing around with this earlier was that these effects can apply to audio loops as well. Oops, hit the wrong button. So if we, instead of like recording something, want to just like add something from the loops, like this, like I don't know, reggae. Let's here we can switch genres. Let's get out some house music loops, and we'll pull just a hi-hat loop out.
So you can just bring these in and drop them into your
drag and drop
thing
into the project. And so it like, you notice it like even changed the icon. Oh, you can't see my screen apparently, but you got it changed the icon of the track to reflect the kind of thing I dragged in. If I bring a clap onto this channel, now it's like there's multiple kinds of audio on there. So now it's just an audio track or whatever.
Bebop fill.
So just this kind of like intelligent like coding of your content, which I think is really neat.
Sorry.
You're all good. I'm gonna undo back so I have that hi-hat still.
That's
I kind of missed
terrible.
that. Oh, where'd it go? Loops.
Delete.
Cosmic Harmony hi-hat. So let's fire this off. Oh, let's fire this off. So if we go on this track and hit this microphone icon, we get these options for our audio loop.
There are a lot.
There's a bunch of presets here, like vocals, sweet chorus. Oh, cool, check this out. So these are not just presets for these sounds. These presets change what you can do. They give me different options. So here's like extra singer.
Where was this one at? You applied it to that track?
I just have I have like a track with a live loop on it. So it's a track that has audio, just like you do.
Oh, so this one I can click on it?
Click the microphone icon in the upper left.
Oh,
And so that gets you into your audio processing options.
Oh, so you can process that audio.
So you can run it through the fun effects, which honestly I thought running it through the Chipmunk was really cool for hi-hats earlier.
Okay. I don't know what I put in there. Put this like sub bass.
Yeah. Anyways, this.
That's actually kind of cool. Yeah, that works. Stop.
You can see, like, watch the playhead move on my screen.
Shoot.
Did you see that?
Oh, how slow. Yeah, that's terrible.
It's very smoothly progressing on my display.
It feels like mine's doing better right now than...
Yeah, I wonder what that's about. Is it like a network thing?
Who knows? I did change some settings to test out
I can...
yours. Hold on, well, I got network synced. Same setting there. Let me check the other one.
And I thought this was pretty cool. It's like kind of like weird sound that I got out of this. So much more interesting than the original sound.
Add highest source timing allow.
Which was this.
Huh.
Anyways, so that was kind of cool. So you can flip open this little tab with these little sliders here to get some extra controls. Like there is by default reverb, delay, and a compressor and treble and bass controls. This compressor here controls the same compressor that's over here on the right. And oh, right, cool. So here's my dude.
That's a little bit better.
This used to not exist when I used to use this program. So if you click this plugins and EQ.
I did, I saw that, I saw that section, but there's more. Oh, right there. Oh, you can get.
So here's a full-on editable
EQ. Whoa.
Editable thing. So
bring that bass up.
So what I don't see is a way to like add additional plugins here. So this may be like
too much bass.
Yeah, look at that visual EQ. Isn't that great? So do you remember when I like turned those knobs oops, whoa. Huh. Do you remember that's what it is. So I turned some knobs a while ago, these like treble and bass controls, I cranked those up. And I think those are affecting the visual EQ. So when I pull up in the visual EQ, I see these like scooped thing with the treble and bass cranked up. Just like,
so it's essentially just...
So you can control this thing from multiple places. But this is great. This is like often all you need. These like 3-band EQ where you can do something to the lows, the mids, and the highs, you know, like this is such a common sort of thing I do to a track. Fun. I love that. Yeah, there's all sorts of other stuff that looks like you can do here too. I don't know. You can reorder them. Oh, here we go. We can add. Here's all the options. And then you can also add these other ones, including running other. Yeah, you don't see my menu, but you can run a bunch of other effects, including something called the micro phaser. Let's just put one of those in there.
You can add more.
Yeah, if you go to edit and then.
There's one of these plus buttons.
Oh, there's a maximum number maybe. I think there's a limit to the number you can have.
Okay.
I think there's like 4 option. I think it's up to 4 optional ones. Yeah, check this out. So I can delete, if you can see my screen. The compressor and the visual EQ are always there, but then you can add these other character effects. Like if you engage the chipmunk option here in the fun thing, what it's doing is it's chucking in the vocal transformer and a chorus and the effect EQ.
Oh,
so these are actually, these used to just be presets, but now, yeah, now you see, here's the entire chain that it's created when you import that plugin. Super cool. I really like that a lot. So it's super flexible. Like anything you want to edit is like really interesting and accessible right there. All right, it's almost 6:30 and we haven't made any music yet though. So let's try. Let's like do something. So I'm gonna back up and.
All right, I'm gonna follow along. I want to save this one though.
Cool. So why did I back out of this? Let's just get into that thing and we'll start with this like hi-hat loop because that's fine. So we got a hi-hat loop. I want to add like one of those like drummer things. You had that smart drummer going and that was very functional. So let's add the electronic drummer, right?
I used this one and yeah, the smart drum. This one. So you can like pick your machine.
You get that from the electronic drums here like this?
No, it wasn't the person one. It was the, it's this one, the smart drums. So it's on the same menu. It's just.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's just further over.
Got it. So I'll grab an instrument. I want to do that too. I think this is a really cool tool. Oh.
So not this one, but.
Oh, yeah. Got it. Drums.
Yeah, and then smart drums. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's it.
So there are a bunch of there's several different drum sequencers in here, and I think they're all really cool. So this one is the simplest thing you could possibly do. You get a choice of drums, and you get a choice of style, and then you place them on this grid depending on what you want them to do. Do you want them to play a simple part or a complex part? Do you want that part to be quiet or loud? So straightforward, anyone can do it. So you can choose your different drums over here in this side menu. I'm going to go with house drum machine, if you wear instruments there. Jay's got a little pattern going.
Yeah, so it just plays it for you.
Yeah, totally. So this thing auto plays. So we're gonna play the simple loud part. Or I guess so. Like simple means just like. Apparently, simple means 2 notes per bar, and complex means.
Add some. It really gets going in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it simple.
Okay.
So I thought I had some hi-hats playing, but I'm confused as to why they're not playing right now.
I like the house drum machine. It's got quite a few more like options in here. Some of the other ones don't have the clap and stuff. I didn't use this one last time. I used the hip hop one maybe. Or no, I used the regular live rock.
So I'm not sure why it wasn't letting me like drag stuff in there before.
I wish we could see yours.
Yeah, it's weird. Sometimes this is how the stream goes. So I want to make a pattern for this thing, and I want to make it.
There we go. Let's try that.
While I'm listening to this other thing, which I'm not sure if it'll let me do that.
Which were you looking at there? How do you get to that one?
You may not have this option if you don't have any live loops.
Oh. Is that because I was just making it on this, and then you pick one or
You
new.
can just hit new.
Okay, and then you can add these two.
And you can add audio loops, yeah.
Ah.
And they'll play alongside anything
Then
else.
you pick your instrument and you can do that.
Right, yeah. So this is separate from the timeline, which is confusing, I think. And maybe why this isn't working. Right. So I'm gonna put my hi-hats on the timeline. So and we'll get into that. So here, I'm just gonna hit record. I'm gonna stop, go back to the beginning, hit record. Count in. Oh.
And then you gotta
trigger it manually, I guess?
Yeah, you gotta manually.
So whatever, I'm gonna stop this right now.
Right now.
So it then, did you see what, I don't know if you can see the animation up there, but what it did was it like set this little timeline up at the top here to be 4 bars exactly, which is how long I let that play for. So if we go over to the timeline, we'll see that this is indeed a 4-bar little section. So this is the thing that I find the most confusing about this program. It took me a second to get this straightened away. I'll do you a favor. So first off, I want this thing to loop. I can click on it, select loop,
okay.
and then it'll like drag it.
I got that part.
Yeah, cool. So now this is a 4-bar thing. So the paradigm of GarageBand in the timeline, which I think is weird, I didn't get this. It maybe makes sense coming from some like Groovebox or other kinds of sequencers, like maybe if you're used to making beats on an MPC, things work this way. But the timeline is not one long timeline for your project. It is organized into song sections. So it is assuming that you want to work on one section of the song, do something to it, and then move on to the next one, do something there, move on to the next one. It's a little more boxed in way of music making than I might be personally inclined to create myself, but it's okay. So we can press this plus button. Oh, we can try. this plus button over here on the right, and we get our song section
Let me
menu.
get a sound in here.
Yeah, so if you don't have anything recorded to the timeline yet, you can't access this. So like this smart drum menu and the clip launching menu are all independent of the timeline. And if you whenever you hit stop, it'll like
It will like
lock it to that many bars.
So what will it do if I let it
keep recording? Oh, you may have already had something in there that limited you to 4 bars.
Let's see.
Yeah. Oh, do you see right there that it says 4.0.0 next to your thing? I wonder if that has something to do with it. If we go into our live or our little drummer boy view.
Yeah, I'm still trying to. Oh, whoops.
Navigating around, like these animations are cute, but it makes navigating really slow because if you click the wrong thing, it takes a while to get out of there. Oh yeah, so this thing appears to have a fixed bar length thing. So you notice when I have this thing pulled up, it says 4.0 in the upper right.
Yeah.
So this thing is set to automatically do a 4 bar loop.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna
Sorry, I'm gonna mess you up. Again, that's the thing with the music is like with the blender we can both do it at the same time, but the music's a little harder because you start to hear each other's
totally.
stuff.
So I'm gonna record this in.
I guess I can always just like mute this. All right, then I can't hear it. I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop that. I'm assuming I can then turn this into something more sensible. So this gets me back to my live looping view.
Sorry.
This gets me back to this view. Oh man, okay. So I think there's a thing going on here.
Are we missing something?
Well, yeah, big difference of the paradigm here. This is so confusing to me. So when I add this track I can add it to one view or the other. And recording that thing, recorded it to this view.
But not the other?
But not the other one because this is the view that this track is added to. So then I have to do an additional global record.
Like I didn't even use that last time on my other one. I don't have a...
Right. So I bet you now, if I go into this view, there it is. And now it appears as a track, but it wasn't.
You recorded it from in here or in this...
When I added this thing, I was in the live looping view. I was in this view when I added the track. So it added it to this view, but not the other view. Right. So you actually have to record or create something in that view directly, or use the record button to record from this view into that view for the tracks to appear at all.
Okay.
Yeah, so even just that much should cause it to appear. And now when they're in that view, even though I created this thing with this like funky tool of automatic drum playing, right? Which it's even lost my pattern because that happened in the other view. What it spits out is MIDI, which is great because I can then open this up and edit it. In theory, I think, right? Maybe not. Can I not edit this MIDI? Oh, that's so interesting.
Oops.
What if I copy it? Can I copy and paste it to a regular drum track, like just something like?
It's definitely user friendly to like just start making noises, but when I feel like when it comes to actually like composing something, it's maybe a little bit more confusing. Let's see, record. And, I wonder if to start just.
So here's another way to program drums, because I think that's kind of confusing. I pulled up a different drum kit. This one I got to using using a slightly different option. Instead of the smart drums, acoustic drums, or beat sequencer, I just went into
more sound?
Well, you can choose just drums too, and you get this same menu, I think. If you just click on that big drum.
Big drum.
Oh no, you just got whatever you last loaded, I think. So yeah, so if you go back to that view where you can go add another instrument and then choose more sounds, and I'm choosing like, I'm not sure if I bet if you pull up in one of the drummers, you get a drummer. Yeah, you get a drum kit.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, and so you pull up a sample-based kit, you get pads. But I think these get treated the same either way. So if you go back to your timeline, and then, oops.
I don't have anything on my timeline yet.
Oh. Okay, here's the thing you need to do, Jay.
Yeah.
So when you add that instrument, instead of like navigating to it there, you can hit that plus button in the lower left. Yeah.
Delete, plus.
And then hit more sounds. And then do it. I did just to humor me for a second. And choose, oh, you haven't downloaded all the kits. Yeah, any of those will be good.
Okay.
Or just anything is fine.
Deep.
So the thing that's bothering me is that this thing that I created with this automatic drummer thing, I don't seem to be able to edit what it did. And, you know, we might actually want to do that. I can change some things about it, but I don't have any editing options. So with an instrument like that, though, check this out. So we can, if you long press on the timeline, or actually just tap on the timeline, so you got to pop back to this view, you get this menu that says, you should get a menu that says Edit.
Yeah.
Hit that button.
Oh.
Here's your sequencer. Right?
Wow.
So you may want to start, you'll notice that if you try and click anywhere, you can't. You gotta unlock it by swipe. Yep, you got it.
Sweet.
And then this is fairly straightforward. So we are quite zoomed out, so we may want to pinch, like if I were you, I would like pinch to zoom in around 1 bar.
1 bar?
Yeah, like that, yeah.
That's about as close as I can go, I think.
Totally. I think you have to like
do
it up
pinch that way, I see.
Yeah. So this will show us 1 bar. What I don't like about this is that this is 16 undifferentiated pads. Yeah, there's no indication of where the beats are here, except for those tiny little ticks up the top.
Taller a little bit.
So it's like definitely requires like some like your instincts to know where that is. So I'm gonna real quick, oops, not do that. But I'm gonna lock it back, and then I hit done, and I'm gonna delete this other drum machine because this thing is getting in my way. So go back to editing this clip, and I'll show you why we might want to do this. So I like doing this because I like deciding how my own clips go. Unlock it. I'm gonna make like kind of a garage sounding thing, garage. It doesn't seem to want to loop that. Oh yeah, because this clip is not a loop. If I go and make this clip a loop,
so
it'll loop it'll loop forever while I'm working on it. Hey.
Loop.
So
fancy loop. Click. Edit. Zoom back in.
Oh yeah, so I can't make the loop longer once it started looping though, so I gotta, that's interesting. Turn looping off, and then I can go in and make this clip longer, and because I want it to actually make like a 2-bar pattern instead. I don't see any way to conveniently duplicate these things, so I'm just gonna kind of go for it.
What's happening there? There's something else in there. Oh, maybe I was just hearing yours.
Cool. So I like
you'd
that.
recommend doing it this way rather than like.
This was the hands-on way.
This is more like.
This is one of the hands-on ways. So one thing I like about this is I can like add in all this stuff. I can also like go in and like, well, I'll show you. Let me program it so that I can show you what it does. I'm gonna make like a bunch of hi-hats. So you can hear what this does. There doesn't seem to be a way to drag out, like if I want to just like fill this line with hi-hats. Doesn't seem to be a convenient way. But okay, check this out, Jay. So I have this continuous string of hi-hats now.
Okay.
So now that I have some control over this, I get this cool option. If I pop this up, I get in the settings, and I can get into the quantization, which lets me add swing. So I can, if I played this in, like you can record yourself playing and then quantize it, just like, you know, I do this all the time.
Right.
But it's a little buried in a menu, which kind of is a drag, but I can add a little bit of light swing to this. Yeah, and it's like feels like way more musical. So it's like a cool option to have. There's loads of other ways to like get. There's a few other ways to get some drums in there. I'm just gonna mute this in the mixer real quick.
You went to settings and then settings.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, this little dragger. I don't know if you noticed this. Little grabber down there.
You can bring that out.
Gets you something that should feel familiar as a mixer.
A little more.
So like I actually just want to mute that
quantize,
track. Yeah.
Swing.
Totally. So like another thing you can do is like you can record yourself playing.
Cool.
So it sounds like your kick drum is maybe in a funny alignment with the metronome or something. I'm not sure what I was hearing there.
Sure. Yeah. Let's see.
I'm not sure. Anyways.
Let's see.
Something funky is going on.
Drum.
So this program's full of these other like these kind of like skeuomorphic instruments too. And they're like pretty surprisingly musical to play. I don't know why that's like so quiet, but we can juice it with some compressor. We can like sweeten it. Crank the volume on it. This should be a little more audible. Oops, I don't want to go over here. I want to go here to here. Get rid of this. So say I want to add, nice. Say I want to add some of like my own playing to this. I'll show you how that works. So I really, really, really like how expressive these cymbals are. Listen to this as I tap on the ride.
Add some like.
I'm moving where I hit it, and it's like subtle tonal variations across the entire cymbal. It's like the most musical thing like this I've ever played, maybe. Notice that when you hit the crash cymbal, it hits the kick as well. It's a very common thing to want to do, so it like helps you so you don't have to hit the drums twice. Kind of cool. So anyways, so I'm going to add some cymbals to this. So I'm going to record myself playing. I'll back up to the beginning, turn the metronome on. Well, actually no, because I have stuff in there already. I'll hit record. I should get a count in, and then we'll see what happens. Oh, hit record though. Cool. Let's see how that went. Hard to tell. Boom. Well, it's interesting. It generated multiple notes. I wonder what the other note was. You see that?
Oh, is it like tapping on the?
Moving between those zones on the thing, I bet you crossfades between these two samples. I bet you that's how they do it.
That's cool.
And that's why it's triggering both at once. I bet you if you could see the velocity, that you'd see a different velocity value or something. Super cool. So like most human beings, my playing is not perfect, but this thing seems to have quantized me on the way in. Do you see this? I was going to quantize it, but I don't think I have to. That is perfect. So there seems to be some sort of record quantization going on. I would reckon that would be in this menu here, if it were. That's pretty interesting that that's on by default. So it's very friendly. Wow. I actually don't even see an option about it. Gosh, that's fascinating. So I think it may just automatically quantize your playing.
That's pretty handy.
At least with the drums, maybe. Let's test this theory. And I'm going to add another instrument. We're still here like donking around on this thing like 40 minutes later.
Yeah.
But this is what it's like, y'all, getting into a new tool. Like we're getting our navigation down. Like it's like it's like a level of fluency.
Spend some time with it.
Yeah, here I'm going to add another section of this song. I'll show you how this works. So when you pop up your song sections, if I keep adding sections, they'll automatically be the same length as my previous one. I think I just hit add.
So
no, 8 bars is the automatic thing. So that's curious. Section 8, 4 bars, automatic, whatever. Okay. So if I want to like work on this part, but have like this part and then another part with more stuff, like same thing but more stuff, I just duplicate. So here's my same thing again, and then like I don't know, maybe I'll duplicate this again and like make this next section 8 bars.
Interesting. So it's all by section.
So it's by section, and then you swipe down here to get between them. So like maybe like maybe we'll start with like the first thing doesn't have this in it, and then it adds that, and then here's where we'll get our other thing. So let's record something else in real quick and test my theory about quantization. So if I have just like the keyboard out, like the Alchemy synth, let's quick pull up a bass patch. We're gonna crush through this in 5 minutes. Just get something. Find the something. Let's see. Where's the right thing though? I wouldn't call that a techno bass, but I'm happy. Going for kind of garage sound. It's kind of cool. Turn the delay and the reverb down. Kind of like that. It's a weird metallic texture. So we're gonna record like kind of like a weird like sort of like D kind of funky idea. Just see what happens here. So, whoa, why did my because it's counting in the last bar of the previous section, which has stuff in it. I hear some imperfections. That's what I wanted to hear. So it seems like maybe it's like doing me a favor and assuming that I want my drums to be on the beat, which it did. But it's not being quite so generous with this instrument. As you can see, slightly imperfect timings. Rather than correcting anything in particular, I can just tap on it, go into the settings, turn quantization on with a bit of light swing. And this should be a real vibe now, hopefully.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet. Pretty cool.
All right, one more thing.
Yeah.
Last 2 minutes. So Jay popped up this really neat feature, which I really like, the smart piano, right?
Oh.
Which is super fun. This thing lets you do a bunch of things, but
yeah.
lets you play chords and lets you auto-play chords, which I didn't know about. So let's find a synth classic. We'll find digital plucks. That sounds nice. That's the vibe.
Yeah. And you just pick one of those.
Yeah. I believe you can actually choose which the chords are if you want, but I'm not going to do that.
I'm not sure what the bottom part of the autoplay thing was, but
these guys,
on the if you like actually turn on the autoplay thing,
it's a bass line separate from the chord.
Some of them I don't really like, but there are some good ones. I wonder if they're all different. They all sound a little bit different to me.
Anyways, let's record this real quick.
Yeah, it worked good. So where are you switching? Like, what are you thinking about when you switch?
I'm in that situation. I was playing like I had the foresight to pick out white keys on the piano, knowing that when this thing likes to pull up chords, it pulls up chords that are in the key of C or F actually here.
Okay.
And so I was literally just like my bass line that I played was D, E, A, G, and I know that those notes can support the chords D minor, C, F, G. I could do a different one. I could have easily played D minor, E minor, A minor, G, but they're relative to each other. The bass is playing the third of the chord sometimes. It's a little bit of a jazzier sound. But yeah, so that like just generated this cool idea. And what I think is interesting about that is you can edit it. So this is a prompt. You're not committed like you were with that like auto playing drum thing earlier. I can edit this and do whatever I want to this, including like adjust the amount of swing, which I'm not sure if it has the amount that I want. Just go in here and quantize that with that light swing, and probably it'll be even groovier. So as I'm playing this back, if I swipe to another section, let's see what happens. It doesn't like auto switch. Woo!
Sorry, I had to hear it with I got to turn my bass down a little bit.
Yeah, you got competing bass lines, right? So like, the thing that we think about in a real engineering situation with that, Jay, is like you've got three bass elements. You have a kick drum, you have a sub bass like kind of thing that you just added there, and then also a bass line. And so thinking about which one of those things, like how they're gonna sit in relation to each other, like is the low end of the track gonna be shared by them, or is like typically what happens is like either the kick takes the low end, and that's that like kind of music, right?
Yeah.
So like drum and bass or like house or techno does that often. And the flip side of that is that like lets the bass take have the most weight. And that's more of like maybe like a trap music thing where like the bass and the kick are the same thing maybe. Or like you layer like a higher pitched kick with like a subby bass, you know. Definitely something to look out for. Like maybe paying attention to electronic music like 102. Right? Aside from like what your tempo is and what the groove sounds like, and is like, what is the relationship of the bass elements? Huge, huge thing.
So like just turning it down a little bit helped. It's like still there, but not.
Like probably what I would suggest is like, I mean, depending on what you wanted, like whether you wanted it to feel like that was the punch and the boom, you know, because it kind of feels a little superfluous because I feel like we have a lot of low end from your kick drums and from that bass, but you could like high pass the bass line a bit and maybe even high pass the drum kits or which you know easier said than done, right? With 2 minutes left in our stream, and then you can make more space for that thing to really come and boom on its own. The other maybe smarter thing to do would be just to like let that be a separate section of the song.
This bass, the other bass.
Yeah, very common thing. It's like you have a different bass technique for different sections.
Okay.
So you hear like, I don't know if you're really getting like the punch of that kick down there, like, but that rock drum kit has. And I think maybe the 808 drums, there's two drum kits that have like some bass elements in them. So those things are all conflicting with that other thing. And like that's why it's weirding you out, I think.
I see.
Plus that thing's moving a lot slower than the rhythm of the rest of the track too. It's like playing. You might actually like that thing better. Something you can do with clips, maybe this is the last thing we're gonna talk about. If you click on a clip, if you go to settings, one of your options is speed.
Speed.
And I was going to suggest this on that bass line down below.
This one here, the monitor.
The thing you muted.
Oh, this, yeah.
That maybe why it doesn't work is that it's playing like half as fast as everything else, and that if you go to the settings and like set it to play double speed, maybe it'll make more sense. And then we probably got to go, but.
Yeah, okay. Remember, oh, there it is. Go back. Kind of has a weird loop, but.
Yeah, it's probably working right. I'll come help you workshop that track sometime. I think we got to get out of here. We're about to get cut off. But anyways, that's GarageBand for 2 beginners.
Yeah.
Even me. So hopefully that was somewhat interesting. Maybe you learned something new about it. Come try we have an iPad here with this thing on there.
Yep.
Come try it out here sometime. I'll show you everything I don't know. Again, it'll be great.
Sweet. All right. Well, we'll catch y'all next week. And then after that, we're going to be on break, I think, for 2 weeks. So.
Yeah.
Bye.
Toodaloo.